Really isn't much going on today. I cut grass yesterday. I cut the grass over there at the place I've been volunteering at. And I cut the grass over here. I used my new electric battery operated hyper tough weed eater. And it did pretty good. I mean, I can't say I'm overly impressed with it, but I'm not disappointed either. It used all 3 batteries, but there was a ton of weed eat. I mean, this yard isn't like light on weed eating. There's quite a bit to do. I know I'm showing you this. The reason is there are 3 batteries, all hyper tough. So they were all charged up. And I got most of this property done with the first battery. And then it stopped running, but I got to thinking about it. It may not have been dead just yet. As I was using it, I was learning that the more tired I got, my finger was not hitting the trigger all the way. And so it would shut off. So that first battery may still have a little bit of juice left. And then the place I volunteer at, I would say most of it requires weed eating. It's got one of these huge ditches on both sides that you got to weed eat. It's huge, the whole length of the property. And then it's got a wall that kind of slants down, very rocky. In the areas that's not so rocky, I can use my lawnmower and go up it. It's steep, but I can get the lawnmower to go up with the chains on the John Deere or the Beast. The Beast can do it too because it's got those tractor tire things on it. So, but when it's rocky, you know, you got to weed eat all that. So there's a lot of weed eating to do, and I got most of it done. Well, then I also ran out of battery on the last 2 batteries. I ran out. So I grabbed my gas powered. Now, the reason I don't use the gas powered is it's really old and it would not be worth fixing anymore. It's got a bad crankcase seal. So when it gets hot, that seal opens up and it doesn't want to pump fuel anymore. And it's just really not worth fixing. But as long as I don't rev it up, get it real hot, it'll last 15-20 minutes before it dies, before the seal opens up enough. So yeah, just limp it along for the rest of the season. I was kind of hoping the batteries would last long enough, but I do have 3 batteries. I got the battery that came with my impact, got the battery that came with the weed trimmer, and then I bought this drill not that long ago and it had a battery too. So now I got 3 batteries. So, but none of them show the power usage except for the impact. The impact shows power usage every time you turn it on, but the weed eater and the drill does not. So anyway, I got the grass cut. I missed this up here in front of the camper. I don't know what I was thinking, but I missed that. I just didn't do it, and I already had everything put away before I realized I didn't do it. So I don't think I'm going to worry about it. I mean, the grass isn't growing that fast right this minute. So, I mean, it rained a few days ago, and then the next day it was really foggy, so much so that it sounded like rain. Somebody actually mentioned in the comment section that it was raining, and it wasn't. It was just fog. So maybe the ground has enough moisture in it, the temperatures have cooled off a bit, that the grass will start growing again. Because I'll tell you, lawnmower repair business is just dead. I was just dead. So, I mean, it's just strange. There's nothing coming in. Power washers, nothing. So the only thing I can think is that it was just so hot until this week that nobody came out to do anything. And it's not exactly cooled off a lot. It's dropped about 8 degrees this week than it was last week. Last week was consistently at 100 degrees. Now we're around 89 to 92. Today it's pretty cool. It's cloudy. There's a breeze. I think we're gonna get down to like 80, you know, up to 86 or 7 or something. The evenings are pretty cool. I think this morning we got down to 70. So the grass might start growing again. The and people start getting out and doing work again. But we're not getting anything. No chainsaws, nothing. It's just everybody just stopped working. But this morning I heard a lawnmower running. I did hear chainsaw running, so fingers crossed things will start picking back up. But I've been really thinking about this. The lawnmower repair business was just supposed to supplement the YouTube channel not doing well anymore. And I think it has. I mean, maybe not so much in the winter, but even at that, you know, I think for the most part it's supplementing. And then I had the idea that I want the new channel to really kind of just take over and be the driving force of all of it. The new channel is Lawnmower Repair Channel, and you know, I take in lawnmowers now, and then I can post the video, and over the next 10 years that video is going to always be making money. It's called an evergreen video. And so something I have to remember is when somebody gets mad and they want a refund and I don't want to give a refund and all that, it really isn't all that detrimental in the long scheme of things. If I keep in mind the YouTube channel, if the YouTube channel ends up paying for the repairs of that lawnmower, then it doesn't matter if I made any money on it or not. But in the meantime, you're always like, you want to make money. And so losing money from, you know, a disgruntled customer, you just, you know, it's just frustrating. Checking on the dog. But maybe, you know, business will pick back up. It's just really strange. And the thing is, there's a lot of stuff going on around here. The big famous biker gang, they came out here for some reason. And then there was this hippie rally going on, usually in Ohio. And I don't even want to call out their names because, I mean, it's just ridiculous. Why are they all coming out here to this area? And nobody's happy about it. I think I've only seen one post where everybody was excited about it. But this hippie thing, I hope it doesn't come every year. I mean, out here in the middle of nowhere, they're coming out. It's not even next to the lake. You would think if there was a town next to the lake, but it's like, you know, 15, 20 miles away from the lake. I think they just came out here just to be ornery. Just to prove that they could do it. Just to disrupt peaceful living. And it did. It shut down significant portions of a significant road. It's not a 4-lane road. Well, it is in spots, but they shut it down. Cops are out there. And people say, yeah, it reminds me of Woodstock. No, it doesn't. People are so dumb. You don't even know what Woodstock was, obviously. This is nothing compared to Woodstock. People are just so stupid. Reminds me of my days in the military where I was. And they'll go into this description that they were just, you know, the war hero. They were Rambo of their time. And then you find out they were a medic. I actually know somebody who did that. I mean, he was everything. He was Special Forces, Submariner, you know, all this stuff. Death charges at 1,000 feet. And he was in the Navy for 6 months. Never left Washington State. Never left. Didn't go anywhere. Oh, but he was, I'm right by. And the thing is, when I got home and I was talking about the submarine, oh, you ain't seen nothing yet. Not until you're depth charged at 100 feet. And I looked at him and said, yes, sir, you're right. You're right. I don't have anything to compare to that. So I never really talked about the submarine much. It's upset a lot of people that I don't talk about it. But he bragged so much about being on that submarine and in Special Forces. And he's got swamp rot on his forehead. Swamp rot! And never left Washington State. Never left it. 6 months in the Navy. I don't even know how you get that, 6 months in the Navy. That doesn't even make sense to me. I don't know how you do that. I don't know, medical discharge? I don't know. But Sure was upsetting when I found out that he didn't do anything. I mean, he had this firearm that he said he got from the enemy. And the whole family treasured this firearm that he got from the enemy. And then after he died, we realized, no, he must have gotten it from a friend, or he just made up a name. I don't know. I mean, how did we know what it really was? That's what he called it. I mean, I suppose you could pick up one of those rifles, and I don't know, you know, at the pawn shop. And he had all these pictures, just tons of pictures of people being burned, and so you really believed his story. But I don't know where he got the pictures. He was a corpsman, so maybe somebody came home sick, you know, during the war, and they gave him pictures, or he found that could be what it is. He found someone's foot locker and took it. I don't know. You just think, how can anybody come up with such an elaborate story for, what, 50 years? 60 years? I remember when I was a kid, we weren't supposed to look at the photos. So, I don't know. People are strange. Oh, it's like my days at Woodstock. Well, you're not at this event, and it's highly unlikely you're at that event. You're just looking at Facebook and trying to make comparisons between two pictures. I mean, at Woodstock it rained. Here it's hot and humid. I don't know what you're talking about. So, I will tell you, I've told you that, you know, I had some pretty bad luck to start the week with, but boy, I sure did finish on a high note. You know, I told you that I bumped into someone backing up. Oh, and it was just devastating. And I had to go get my eye exam for the driver's license test. So I went and took the eye exam, and I passed. And you know, this right eye really had me worried. And you know, I was like on cloud 9, but I still had this accident on my mind. Like, I should just hang my driver's license. I had an accident after 38 years of never hitting anybody. I've had an accident. Maybe I shouldn't be getting my driver's license. Maybe my eye is. But then the insurance company said it wasn't my fault. And that's the thing. That's what was so surprising, is I didn't read anywhere that this accident could be considered less than 50% my fault. I was backing out of a parking spot. And I always thought that the person backing up holds a significant portion of the liability. So I was hoping for 50-50 or maybe 70-30 or something like that, just to try to ease the increase in my insurance payments. I never, ever considered anybody suggesting that I would be 0% liable for that accident. But once she said it, it completely occurred to me. Yeah, that's right. I was never out of my space. I was in my space. I wasn't out in the intersection where, you know, traffic is or anything. I was in my space. The question is if I've never even put it into reverse, would she have still hit me? And the answer is probably, yeah, she might have. So, but my point is I'm telling you, I'm just overly relieved this week. Just overly relieved. I've just never had that kind of luck. Usually, if I got, you know, multiple bad problems coming my way at once, something is going to go wrong. And so far, everything has just went perfect. So this is, it's been a pretty happy week for me. The brakes, got the brakes fixed, got all that fixed. You know, last week I was waiting for that pin to show up. I ordered it from two different, you know, Amazon and Walmart. Hoping that one of them would get them here relatively quickly. And I mean, I got it on Saturday after, I think I ordered it on Wednesday or something. Got it on Saturday, got it on. Truck runs great, stops great. So just everything's kind of going my way, which is very unusual for me. Usually if things can go wrong, they do. You know, I think Murphy came up with the laws based on my personality. So I guess I'm gonna jump off here. So if you'll click this up next box, take the video over to my other channel, really appreciate it. Go check it out. So if I can inspire you to have a lucky week so you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.